बट भाई लोग मेरे को एक एक सवाल है. आई विल अगेन
हाँ,
आई मीन उंगली करने का मूड टुडे. टॉप 5
हाँ.
मैनेजर्स ऑफ द प्रीमियर लीग era. Go.
Ferguson, Guardiola, Mourinho, Klopp and Wenger. I would still rate Klopp ahead of Wenger.
Fair. Abhishek.
I think the
I think I will. I'm quite those five names will stay as is. It's just the order. First, unfortunately, that Scottish guy from Aberdeen. Uh, then second, for some reason, I still rate Peak Mourinho over Guardiola. I don't know why, but I won't put him as second. I'd still put Arsene Wenger, uh, only because of his effect on English football. He was, he was a revolutionary in English football. So Mourinho, Wenger, no, not Mourinho. Ferguson, Wenger, Mourinho, Guardiola, Klopp.
But would you rate Wenger's management over the management of any of the other names in that list? See, Wenger was revolutionary with his approach to the game, as in
Mhm.
maybe diet and lifestyle.
He changed English football, right? He
He
changed
changed
English
English
football,
football.
right? Yeah, and he made each and every single team followed it, pretty
Yeah,
much, right? Like Liverpool, the reason why Liverpool got left behind, a lot of ex-Liverpool players will tell you the same thing. It's like when Arsene Wenger came in, when the English players used to go on the England camp, right, from Arsenal, and you could see the difference. Like Liverpool players were still drinking after the game. They were still going out. They were still drinking. They were still partying. They were having that same old culture. And you could see that for Wenger had changed Arsenal completely, and Ferguson immediately followed.
yeah,
Immediately, because you could see that Gary Neville and all of these guys also immediately changed. So in that way, I think yes, he brought in that new era in the Premier League. In a way, there was a big transition between the old football style versus when Wenger came in. So his impact is huge on the club. Plus, he's won like three titles, right, with
yeah.
Arsenal. So yeah, so I think I would put him. I think towards the end, yeah, it was sad. I think his several years were quite sad, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, I'm still debating between Guardiola and Klopp, but I think the unfortunately when it comes to trophies, right, there's no comparison there.
No, which is why even for me, Wenger, I don't think he makes my top 3. He doesn't.
Yeah.
The only reason being, I don't think a manager. He went 14 years without a league title. 14 years. I think he left in 18. He joined in he won his last league title in 2004. 14 years, and I think he won 3 FA Cups or 4 FA Cups or 5 FA Cups, whatever it was.
Yeah.
That is, let's be honest, that's a bad return. No other manager, and I understand the whole thing about, they're having a new stadium and all of that, and he stabilized the club, which is fine. But at the end of the day, I always believe that history always looks back in numbers rather than in stories. And his numbers simply don't add up. Pep definitely. I think Pep is he's right up there behind Ferguson. And if it was a different era, and if it was an era of where managers stay along for decades, Pep would have. I have no doubt. Pep would have overtaken Ferguson. It's number of two. I have no doubts, honestly. And this is me saying it. I've been always am still a huge fan of Fergie, but because of the way modern football is and the way managers function, and you don't really see anybody staying in a club for 20 odd years. But I think Ferguson is clear at the top because of both excellence and longevity together. And Pep, Jose, Klopp probably round off the top four, and or maybe Wenger rounding off the top four with Klopp, and honorable mention to Claudio Ranieri for the best Premier League season I've ever seen. Uh, Between Klopp and Ranieri for say fifth.
But then
See,
when you now tell me one thing, right? You said that Wenger didn't win for what, 12, 14
Yes.
years or so. Neither has Mourinho won in the last 10 years, right? He's not won a title in the last 10 years either. The last time he won a title was 2014-15, right?
Correct.
So you can always argue that, they had a peak. they were in their peak, and Mourinho in his peak, I think he was better than them all. You know, but again, I mean, Wenger, I think, and to be honest, right, Mourinho has been managing some of the bigger clubs as
Hmm.
compared to Wenger with more money, with more budget and everything, right? Wenger really managed Arsenal during a difficult period, during a period of transition when they went to the new stadium and everything, right?
Hmm.
So you can make that argument about both of them that okay, they have gone through almost a decade of not winning the league, and Mourinho in that decade has pretty much won nothing. He only
Yeah,
won with United the Europa
Europe.
League. Wenger won the FA Cups a few number of times, and I know he got to the Champions League final also. But yeah, I mean, if you compare uh, those two in that period of time, I think they're almost the same, right?
No, but think about it this way: Jose won three Premier League titles, and he was in the Premier League for what, 6 or 7 seasons. I think the
Yeah.
Mhm.
first time he was in the league for 3 seasons with
Three,
Chelsea, and he was
three,
two with
three,
Chelsea.
2.5, 2.5. Yeah.
That's like three league titles in 7 seasons. Wenger has three league titles in 18 years, or whatever, 20 years, or whatever it was. 22
Mhm.
years. So I'm thinking more in that way that those last 14 years, no, we sort of gloss over it as a block. 14 years is a long time. 14 years
Yep.
is Jurgen Klopp plus Rafa Benitez plus Roy Hodgson plus Brendan Rodgers, probably. So imagine all, imagine that big a portion of your life and you don't get any European glory. You don't get a Premier League title. You win a few FA Cups. Even Liverpool have done better than that. You guys have won what, two Champions Leagues? You all went to the Champions League final two more times. You won
Yep.
multiple domestic cup competitions. You won a Premier League title. So imagine, even Liverpool in that era still having more, maybe more championships or more, cups or whatever than Arsene Wenger's Arsenal. So that's why I'm not thinking he's a bad manager. Again, he's not. He's definitely a fantastic manager, but he doesn't crack the top three and he doesn't go beyond Mourinho just for that reason.
Yeah,
See,
and by the way, about
just one point. About just one point.
go ahead, go ahead.
About Ferguson. See, why I put Ferguson ahead of everyone else. Fergie not only managed in different eras. He won at Aberdeen when it seemed almost impossible. The things he did at United in different eras of footballs. So right from managing a club, then building a club.
Yeah,
We forget that Ferguson did not have a director of football or anyone else overseeing football business at United.
that's
He
because he
had
was
David Gill.
the dictator of football at United for the longest time.
Yeah. And I thought what Wenger did, especially after they built Emirates, he was the professor. He understood economics. He understood business. So he decided that instead of maybe he saw what was happening at United when Glazer took over happened. He decided that okay, I'll stabilize the club and everything else comes after, which is fine. So I don't think as far as football management is concerned, uh, Wenger is not. I would put someone like Louis Van Gaal ahead of Wenger. So we are talking about Mourinho right now, but we are only talking about Mourinho's credentials in England. He won a treble at Inter. His
Yeah.
Real Madrid team was exceptional. So he had other accolades, and even in his when he joined United, he won a treble, or let's say he won yeah, a Europa League.
What a guy.
So that counts, right? Wenger could not do that. Wenger could not do anything in Europe.
But a big shout out to Louis Van Gaal,
Yeah,
my favorite test manager after Ferguson, and I'm not even kidding. No, I'll tell you what. One thing about, I've been eyeing Mangesh now. I've been a huge Louis Van Gaal fan all my
yeah,
life. What he did at Ajax, what he did at Barcelona, but Louis Van Gaal's greatest achievement is what he did with AZ Alkmaar.
absolutely.
Winning a league title, that is like winning a league title with Everton.
Yeah,
Even worse, I think AZ Alkmaar was a garbage club with
yeah,
no real players or whatever, and this guy goes on and wins a league title ahead of Feyenoord, Eindhoven, and Ajax with
yeah.
Alkmaar. I think forget about what he did with Bayern Munich, Barcelona, and all of that. I think just for that thing, and for what he did at Ajax in the 90s. Big Van Gaal fan.
No, Van
And
Gaal was sensational. You had Capello, who was very good.
Oh yes, Fabio Capello.
Yeah.
Don
Capello was
Carlo.
fantastic. He was solid.
What a guy, Don Carlo. Well, I think Don Carlo will go down as one of the all-time greats. Huh? I think.
Most
I
definitely.
think so too. By the way, Rohit, you didn't give your top five in the right order. Top five
Oh,
Premier League managers.
yeah, I'll go with Fergie, Pep, Jose.
I don't. Hmm. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's Klopp and Wenger, but I don't know. I mean, I think Klopp's played probably the best. Like, I would rather watch a Klopp team than a Pep team. Even though Klopp doesn't have the numbers to show for it, I honestly would rather watch a Klopp team than a Pep team. But yeah, it's Klopp and Wenger. I don't know. I can't choose between them.
I can make one argument for Klopp
Of course you can.
with my stat of the day.
Oh no.
You only need to change four results in Klopp's 487 games at Liverpool to turn us from one Premier League and one Champions League into three Premier League and three Champions League wins. Only four results.
So what? Only 4 results. All
Four
those were
results.
important games,
Four
man.
results in 487 games. Four results in 487 games.
See,
I can do
you
you one
need to.
better. Can
Yeah,
I?
so
Can
I
I?
can tell you something about Ferguson. If
Yeah, I
you
was
if
going
you
to
change,
the
yeah, so if you change two results, Fergie wins 5 titles in row
yeah.
from 2007 titles in row from 2007 to 2013.
13, yeah. The one,
Yep.
the Drogba goal at Chelsea goes away, the offside goal. And
Yeah,
Sergio Aguero doesn't do what Sergio Aguero did. Or United
yeah.
actually go on and manage to stupidly not draw to Everton 4-4 at home. My God, I'll still
God,
murder myself thinking about
God,
that.
shit. Just
One of
still
the worst
makes me
games I've seen
crazy
in my
just
life.
watching. I cannot stand that game.
Which one?
Prime,
Which one?
God,
yeah, United drew 4-all at home to Everton with Rio Ferdinand playing as if he is already 75 years old.
Hmm. I
and then
don't
4
remember
2
that.
4-2 up. Patrice Evra hit one on the sorry. If Patrice Evra hit the woodwork, it should have been 5-2. And then later,
Steven
Everton
Pienaar मारा
fight
था ना?
back,
Steven Pienaar.
led by Marion Fellaini.
Oh yeah. Pienaar मारा था ना? एक गोल
हाँ, पीनार मारा था, लेकिन Fellaini अच्छा खेला था उस मैच में.
Of course खेला. Why am I not surprised?
Shit.
No, but honestly, I'll tell you what. Going back to what you were saying, I would rather watch a Klopp team, man. They
Yeah.
the intensity of a Klopp team reminded me of some of the things that United used to do with Fergie, right? Just bang,
Yeah.
bang, bang, keep going. Pep का है वो comatose team है यार. You know they're going to do the same over and over and over again.
Yeah.
You know it. It's not honestly effective, brilliant, all of that fine. But मेरे को देखने का है ना. I'll spend money. I'll spend my own money to watch a Klopp team. Pep का है ना. Oh yeah, they won 3-1. I can literally describe you. उसने कहाँ से cutback दिया था तीनों गोल मार के.